Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of On Couch Book Reviews. Today, we are taking a look at the book Wrecker by Carl Hiaasen. So this book is about a boy named Valdez Jones. He's 15, and he basically is fishing one day, and he comes across this boat, and they're stuck, and they need his help, and he's only got a little bitty boat. So um he's only got a little bitty boat, and he's like, well, I can't help y'all, my motor's too small. And so they toss him a rope, they toss him rope, and he tries, and he's just like, well, I can't do it, I told you I can't do it. And so they're like, well, try again. And so he tries again, and he can't do it. Like he said, he can't do it. So anyways, so they toss him some money, and he's like, what's this for? I didn't do nothing. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, just take it. And it's this mustachio dude. He's got a mustache and everything. So cut on to another part of the story where dude is in this graveyard, and he looks after this girl Sarah's grave. And this girl Sarah is this old British dude named Riley. And so he looks after her grave for him. He basically makes sure nobody that the iguanas don't crap on the grave, because there's a lot of iguana crap. I don't know what that is and what that has to do with it. But anywho, so he's taking care of the grave. He sees this girl, and she's singing, and there's this guy, this grave of this guy named Manuel. And basically you find out later that he was a victim of the Klan, and he was killed. So then basically he lives, and there's another character too. He lives with his stepsister Suzanne, and she is a activist for the harbor. And basically what happens there is she is trying to keep cruise ships from coming into the harbor. She's part of the Blue Water something or other. And they organize protests against big cruise ships because they're basically polluting the water and everything. And and then you cut back to the graveyard one day. And how Sarah actually, let's go back to how old dude introduced himself. Old dude's name is Riley, and how how Wrecker finds that out is he basically is one day he goes to the old man's house because he needs his money. And he tells him the story of how Sarah died. She basically drowned because her husband was cheating on her and everything, and so that's how that happened. Basically, all right, so then we cut on to he's in the graveyard one day, and it's just this dude comes up to him, and he's like, hey kid, and he's like, who what, what's up? And he's like, and he freaks out because he thinks it's a cop, and he thinks he's gonna get busted or whatever. It turns out it's the same dude from the boat. And they talk, and turns out there was this dude being brought in a hearse, and it was their funeral, or so you think. It was their funeral for dude. So he wants them to look after the grave of this dude that they buried. His name is Vasquez. And basically, so what happens is, so then there's this day in the water. He's just chugging along, and the boat that he come into contact with with the mustachio dude and all his crew or whatever, they basically they ran aground, they sunk, and he gets some of their cargo, and he thinks they're smugglers. And because the place is well known for smugglers and stuff like that. So um basically, so he ends up getting some of the packages, and he hides them. And basically, yeah, so um and then there's the part of the story where he goes into the graveyard, and he finds out this Vasquez dude's grave has been damaged, and he contacts Mustachio dude, and Mustachio dude is one of these dudes who is very suspicious. He doesn't want to be seen, he doesn't want to be known, he doesn't want to be contacted very easily. So he comes and he's like, "Well, I'll pay you double to keep an eye, keep a better eye on this grave." And so basically, further on in the story, he unpacks one of these packages, and you find out that they are not selling drugs. They are not selling anything of that nature. They're selling false vaccination cards for COVID-19. And basically, now this smuggler dude wants info on how his packages got stolen. Now, obviously, Vasquez knows what happened to the packages because he has them. So this mustachio dude is like, "Here, I'll pay you to keep in contact with me and to drive the boat." Because he actually hires him as a boat driver and everything. And in the meantime, this girl Willie from school, she helps him try to figure out what's going on with these smugglers. So what ends up happening to Vasquez and Willie, and do these smugglers end up getting busted for these illegal vaccination cards? And what happens to Vasquez? What happens to not Vasquez? What happens to Wrecker? What happens to Valdez? And yeah, what happens to him? So yeah, man, good book, great book. Really captured me. I really enjoyed it. The narrator did a really good job. I prefer audiobooks over braille books because even though I am totally blind, I can read braille. But just braille for me is just, I don't prefer it because I read slow, and so I would just prefer somebody reading to me. Now I will say, sometimes audio narrators will kill a story. Like if you have the wrong narrator narrating the story, it will kill it. And you in my case, we use Bard Braille Audio Reading Download. That's a service for visually impaired people, blind people, or visually impaired people, or people who cannot read print due to a disability or something. So this guy did a really good job. I have had narrators in the past who just killed stories for me, but this book was really good. If I had to rate this book, I'd give this book a say about a 9 out of 10. Because there are some details that are a little, just that some of them kind of drag a little bit. But again, ladies and gentlemen, Wrecker by Carl Hiaasen. Check that book out, man. Grab it wherever you can get your books. If you're like me, if you get books from Bard, it is on Bard. If you're Audible, you can get it from Audible, I'm sure. Libby probably has it. If you use Libby, that's another library app. So if you can find this book, or if you can find it in print, pick it up and check it out. It's more of a kid's book, but it still is, it's still a good read. I enjoy both kids books and adult books. So yeah, man, so definitely pick this book up if you can. And yeah, I'm out. So I will holler at y'all later. I hope y'all have enjoyed the video. And like I always say, man, do what you do your thing, and always make sure you stay on top of your game. You feel me? I'm out. Peace.